So, if you've come here just to correct the grammar in my thumbnail, well, I gotta tell you, Chief, maybe this is the video for you. For anyone else, welcome and take a seat while we take a quick look at the interesting world of RageBait and why does it work so bloody well. But just a quick one before we get started, I do have a Patreon, so you can go and support me directly for just $3 a month, and if you do, you will earn a spot in every video going forward. But if that isn't your cup of tea, then just smash like, comment and subscribe. So where did the term RageBait even come from? Well, RageBaiting has gone through some evolutionary changes throughout history, with the biggest change being its name. What we call RageBaiting nowadays has always been a thing in the human psyche, with its earliest name being "Thou lump a foul deformity," coined by Shakespeare in Richard III, another phrase for your mum. No, but on a serious note, the art of being a complete fool to piss others off has always been at the forefront of human nature, especially in times of conflict. Like back in World War I, when the German troops were bombarded with leaflets essentially telling them that the Allies were winning the war and that their efforts were futile. I would say it's an early attempt at fake news, but we kind of all know how the war played out. Pettiness is a pattern throughout history, with wars being started over incredibly tiny, non-important disagreements. So don't feel bad for wanting to burn a vet after seeing this guy all over TikTok mourning his dying dog in a soldier's uniform for the 30th time this week. There is an argument to be made to say that some of the early propaganda of the world wars could be a form of rage bait. I mean, look at some of these. Like, what does this even mean? These posters were literally made to goad people into action and recruit for a devastating battle. And it fucking worked. So if that doesn't speak volumes into how the human mind works when presented with conflict, then I don't know what will. Fast forward into 1999, a time when 90% of you watching were not even a twinkle in your dad's eye. In the good old days of US of A, the political field was at its infancy for petty jabs before it would later become into the shit show we see today. Honestly, American politics are probably more entertaining than the average soap nowadays. My point is that RageBait goes further than just some idiots trying to get a reaction online. It's actually something that is used in a professional setting to win over some pretty game-changing decisions. Anyway, enough of looking back. Let's take a look at what I exactly mean by the word RageBait, or now also known in a slightly different way, rage farming, a new way to also monetize RageBait online. The first and most obvious place we can see this take place is the hellfire we call TikTok. Well, as we know, this shit works extremely bloody well. Just look at these numbers, but the internet is now rife with RageBait as the general public have mostly cottoned on to what's going on in recent years, with a lot of commenters usually calling out the underhand tactic when they see them in the wild anyway, which is a step in the right direction, I guess. If you look at creators over TikTok or any other platform, that there is a clear difference from when the creator wasn't using RageBait to say when they started to use it. And then you look at the numbers, they go completely off the scale.
Powerful websites you should know, part 4. If you're ever at an airport without internet, go to Google and search for this. Then click on the first link. Then you can find the airport that you're at on the map.
The biggest downside is you have to have pretty thick skin to be able to put up with the backlash of saying something completely inflammatory to a crowd of pissed off teens that will hang you for the spelling of a word like there. If you haven't realised, people in the TikTok era seemingly have less and less shame by what they post online, with a lot of degenerate creators rising to the top by performing the most ridiculous and outrageous things to get there. For instance, the likes of Jack Doherty or that weird Mizzy kid that lasted 3 minutes. The point is that it's a tried and tested formula that being a prick equates to fame or infamy, which in the online world is one and the same, to be honest. People enjoy to be villainized because they are the very essence of all publicity is good publicity, with zero regard for their future outside of a 20-second clip. But that 20-second clip can make them thousands, I hear you shout from a crashed supercar. Yes, congratulations, you've built up some money that will easily go as quickly as it come to you. Just look at the hundreds of thousands of online personalities that have been through the exact same thing. A lot of these people aren't smart enough to be online business moguls that have the money IQ of Warren Buffett. In the face of what is, I would describe, a moronic plague that thinks views and outrage is the key to success and leaving out the more important parts like longevity and diversification. In other words, you don't put all your eggs in one basket or you'll end up like the world's fastest dropout, Bevo. The science behind RageBait and why it's so effective today all comes down to psychology. Our brains are wired to prioritise emotionally charged information, particularly negative emotions like anger. When we see something that triggers anger or outrage, our brains release dopamine, which makes us feel good. The positive reinforcement can lead us to share and engage with RageBait content, even if we ultimately disagree with it. Additionally, social media algorithms often prioritise content that generates strong emotional reactions, further amplifying the spread of RageBait. This creates a feedback loop where users are more likely to see and engage with RageBait, reinforcing its effectiveness. It's the ultimate cycle for our feeble human brains. Things make us angry, we tell them why, we feel good, a simple formula. With it working so well, the social media companies cannot yet tell the difference between negative engagement and positive, which in turn sometimes throws out horrendous content, not knowing it's clearly contentious or even just straight up offensive. Social media companies are always involved in these kinds of algorithm type problems, like ElsaGate or that stupid TikTok trends that go viral where kids die and things. The problem is technology, and until they can start caring enough to develop a filter to differentiate between the good and the bad, then well, we just got to suck it up. But anyway, that's the end of the topic. I just want to say sorry for the delay once again on getting this video out, but I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.